Hey everybody, we are here and showing up again today. And I was back and forth debating on what I wanted to show up with today, and I think I came across this little packet in my, like I said, I'm not really cleaning my space right now. I'm just kind of refamiliarizing myself with my space. I'm not even really reorganizing it. I'm just refamiliarizing myself with it. Anyways, I came across this little bag of goodies. And many years ago, I had an art store in Conway, Arkansas. And one of the things that we had at our store was a big 3-ring binder. And it had pages in it. And it was an artist trading card book. And so it was kind of like a free to add to. It's kind of like the little library idea of, take one, leave one kind of thing. And this was artist trading cards. And so I used to do artist trading cards. So what are artist trading cards? Artist trading cards are little, like, cards. They're most oftentimes like 2.5 by 3.5. I think that's the standard size for them. And the idea is to create a piece of art on them, and then on the back you write your information, like the year and your name and all that, and so you can trade them with other artists. And so it's an easy way to have a collection of art pieces by a collection of artists. Anyways, that's what an artist trading card is. And I think nowadays most people can call them ACEOs. Now that I think about that, I don't know what that stands for. ACEO. But the difference between an ACEO and an artist trading card is, artist trading cards are trading cards. Let me go get my iPad and let me Google that so I have a little bit more information. Hold, please. Okay, I'm back. So, let me Google. Let me do the Googling. Come on. So ACEO is Art Cards, Editions, and Originals. Now, the difference is artist trading cards and ACEOs are the same size, 2.5 by 3.5, but they, an ACEO can be sold. Like you can go on Etsy and search for people's ACEOs and purchase them, and it's a little piece of art. But the idea behind an artist trading card is that you're trading them, you're not selling them. And so we would always do the trading cards, and like I said, we had them in a notebook that was kind of like baseball cards, the little sleeves that the baseball cards in, and you could trade them out and you could collect from your favorite artists and all this and that. All that to be said, when I sold my store and closed my store and sold my store, I dispersed a lot of my trading cards. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have just kept that notebook. But I dispersed it, and I had a big bin of stuff that I was working on with artist trading cards. And, you know, kind of like, we have a bin of this, and we have a bin of that, and I had a bin of artist trading card stuff, and I got rid of all of it. Except for this little stack here. And mainly because I was kind of hung up on this little stack, and I'll show you a few of them that I've got started working on, and you'll be able to see a commonality. This one was my favorite. So they are little collage trading cards. And they all have an eyeball on them and a little quote on them and all this and that. You know, they're still kind of in the works because I was going to do a series of them, because I still have 1, 2, 3 eyeballs to work on. And so let's do 1, 2, 3 cards. So trading cards can be made out of anything. This was in some painty pages. On some like watercolor paper, so they're nice and thick. This was a image transfer sticker. You know, so I had a handful of bases, and most of these, like this is marbling paper. We did some paper marbling. That's the green and the black and the red. And you know, after we played around with, you know, dyeing the different papers and things like that, I just cut them up, and, you know, so you can make them out of scraps is what I'm saying. So I thought I would show up today and play around with these 3 eyeballs and maybe some of these. So I think the first thing we need to do is cut our eyeballs. I pulled out my little bin of book page words, but then I got to thinking that I probably needed like my bin of collage words so I can get a little more variety instead of just book page. So that's what I'm going to show up and do today, is just work on these little artist trading cards. It's kind of one of those, it's a lost art kind of thing. It's fun to do, like, when you have a group of people or a collective artists, a collection of artists. You know, I had a random collection of artists coming in and out of my store, and so the book was on the bar between the studio and the store, so you could just kind of flip through, and if you saw something you liked or saw an artist that you've been wanting one of their pieces, then or if you made some pieces and wanted to add to the book, I mean, it was really cool, little art community building kind of thing. It was fun and technically free. And so this is I told y'all in one of my videos that I've been fussy cutting like nobody's business, and I wasn't lying. These are all words. I don't know, they may be too big, but we'll see if there's any that have anything to do with an eyeball. Or looking or seeing. That's kind of the trick. So there may not be We could do just relax. That really doesn't have anything to do with seeing or eyeballs or anything like that, but just pulling out some little words maybe we can work with. There's an insane amount of words in here. Quotes and sayings and things like that. And to that, almost to a point to where there's too many. It takes a minute to dig through them. Yeah. Into the dark. Well, now I know what words I really don't have in here about seeing or your eyes or I'm just about thinking we've got enough to work with. Yeah, we're going to work with what we got. So, like I said, they're pretty simple. I just added an eyeball and added a quote. Added an eyeball, added a quote. Added an eyeball, added a quote. So, we can do that. Okay. This one says inspiration is everywhere. And I like that. This is probably going to be a short video. I just got home from work and I found this last night when it was time to go to bed, and I was like, oh. And I've been thinking about it all day. It's like, oh, I could at least, finish up those 3 or 4. I wasn't sure how many. Tricky. Okay. The glue stick doesn't want to stick to this. It's got like a waxy from the marbling. It's got a little waxy film on it, so I wonder if that's gonna stick and stay. Yeah, I think so. Of course, I started these before I knew anything about putting ink on your edge and rounding corners and things like that. So we're just gonna be very simple with them. Oh, come on. So, have any of you guys ever done artist trading cards or ACEOs before? If you did ACEOs, did you sell them? And if so, how much? I've never sold any of these, so I'm not, like I said, it was a big thing a couple years ago in my world, and the big thing was to trade them, not sell them. So so I've not even priced it, like how much. I think these words are, I don't know that all these words will fit. I like the green though, is what I'm thinking. Let's see if they fit. Oh, come on. Are they gonna fit? Boy, they take up a lot of that background though, that's for sure. Although I kind of like it. So there is that. These should glue down with a glue stick. This is just acrylic paint. Could have probably trimmed the words a little better, but again, I do like the green. Everything's sticking together. Okay, and the last one. Do that word. I actually think I like fearless, not fearlessly. So I'll cut that down. We'll just do it like that. And then we're working with the eyeballs came from I remember they came from an advertisement. It was like for eye drops or something like that. And there was all these eyeballs on this one page. And I just was like, oh, those are cool. And I remember I held on to it forever. And I was like, what can I do with these? What can I do with these? And then I finally decided to do the series of artist trading cards with them. And it was, honestly, it was in my early days of collage. So I really didn't, not that I know what I'm doing now, but really didn't have much thought or direction as to what I was doing or what collage was all about, or if there was a rhyme and reason to it. So I think now comes the tricky part of, if I label them all, if I sign and label them all, do I put them all for this year? There's 10 of them. I mean, I guess I could if I'm gonna, my idea was that I would have a series like this is 1 of 5 or 1 of 6 or, So if I did 1 of 10, 2 of 10, 3 of 10, then I technically finished the series in 2025. So this is still my favorite. But I do like this one. So maybe I should sign them all and put October 2025 as kind of the 10, 2025. I'll sign them and then I'll do 1 of 10. 2 of 10. 3 of 10. 4 of 10. I'm not going to title these. I'm just going to leave them as a series. 5 of 10. 6 of 10. And I'll do the 3 or 4 that I did today as my last ones. What am I on? 7 of 10. Of 10. This is 9 of 10. Of 10. Very cool. So I completed a project that's been on my desk and in my stash for a while. And I kind of like them. I'm really I think they're kind of cool. Again, they're just cards, like collector cards or whatever. Let me see if I get them all in the, oh yeah, they're all in the, yeah, I like them. I think they're kind of cool. They kind of go together, but not really. Yeah. Again, these are in my early days of collage. So like this one has a sticker on it. And you can see it's got a shiny sticker on it. The wave is a shiny sticker. This is a shiny sticker down there. I don't know that I would do that nowadays. So this one's a little thicker. I don't know. He's on a thicker board. That's okay. So there you have it. Showing up and taking up space. And I have these little, there's 2 little cards. I'm just going to toss them in my scraps. And then I have these little protectors, wallet shields that were in my stash of stuff. But I'm just gonna put these in my random stash of random stuff. So I no longer have a little packet of artist trading card stuff or ACEO stuff or whatever it's called nowadays stuff. I don't know what I'll do with these. I will probably put them back in their little baggie and just put them on my shelf with all my other artsy stuff, like my art journals and things like that. So yeah, there you have it. Thanks for joining me again, just here showing up and taking up space and having other things in my realm of my world other than the TV and the crazy news that just won't stop. And I'll be back. It's the weekend coming up and I have company coming in, but I'm gonna hopefully spend some time here. I need to work on a few videos that I've got going on. So anyways, thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.